I've wanted to make this video for about 5 months now, and I can finally do it. The doctor cleared me, so we are getting back to the gym tonight. I'm going to walk you through a beginner workout routine that you can use if you are new to the gym. And you know, if you guys feel like sending it to Greg Doucette or Johnny Shreve and having them critique me, feel free. I'd like to have it. Anyway, let's get to it. And if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and let's get cracking. So who's this workout routine for? There's 3 main targets. One is complete beginners. You've never set foot in a gym, you don't remember anything from PE, you're trying to get in shape for the first time, probably in your life. The next group of people who this routine will work for is people who've been out of the gym since Reagan was president. And finally, if you're like me and recovering from a serious injury, this will also help get you back on your feet so you can get back to your other routines. The goals for this routine are to wake up your muscles, to build a foundation so that you can move on to more advanced exercises and more advanced exercise routines. To do that, we're going to target I'm going to call them the core movement patterns, the push, pull, and hinge movements. There are a whole bunch of other movement patterns that this routine is not going to touch on very much. These are the 3 main ones that we're going to be focusing on. So as you can see in my warm-up, I'm doing some dynamic stretches as part of the warm-up. If you are going to add any skill training such as handstands, L-sits, working on planches, or front lever, back levers, things like that, you'll want to do that before you get into the main portion of the workout. So after the warm-up, before you start doing your resistance training portion. That's where you want to do any skill training. I'm not going to include any skill training in the routine, but if you wanted to add that in there, that is where you would add it. At the end of the routine, you're going to start doing static stretches as part of your cool down. Your pike stretches, your straddle stretches, your arm flexions, arm extensions, things like that, just to stretch out your muscles to make sure you don't remain tight and to allow you to maintain mobility as you gain strength. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the routine, I'm going to lay out the schedule that I have for this routine. It's meant as a 4-day rotation. You're going to be doing the routine 2 days, you're going to be doing cardio 3 of those days, and you're going to have a complete rest day on the 4th day. So the first day you're going to do the routine plus some cardio, second day you're just going to do some cardio, third day you're going to do the routine plus cardio again, 4th day you're going to relax. You're going to repeat this routine for about 2 to 3 months, and then at that point you should be ready to move on to a more advanced routine. The routine itself is focused around mostly closed chain exercises. There's a reason for this. It's much harder to injure yourself doing closed chain exercises than it is doing open chain. Open chain exercises like bench press, curls, vertical press, where you are moving the weight through space versus moving your body through space. If you aren't prepared for that, you can injure yourself, and you can injure yourself very quickly. Doing closed chain exercises, it's much harder to injure yourself to the point where you're actually not going to be able to get in the gym and exercise. This is important because you don't want to start a routine, get injured on week 2, and then you have to sit out another 2 months before you can restart the whole process again. So with this, I gave the kind of the baseline exercise, and I'm going to walk through each one and show you how to do each one and how you can make it harder or easier depending on where you are with that movement pattern. In the routine, we're focusing on the push-ups, which is a horizontal push exercise, focusing on the chest and a little bit with the arms. We're going to use chin-ups instead of pull-ups, so we can add some extra bicep activation into the movement. There's nothing wrong with doing pull-ups as well, but here I'm trying to trim out an exercise. I don't want to have to add an extra exercise to get curls in to work on your biceps. So if we do chin-ups, we're getting the back and the biceps all at once, and as you progress with this, then you can split them up in a later routine. Dips, self-explanatory. It's going to be working on mostly, we're going to be focusing on the tricep dip, not the chest dip. Rows is where you're going to give your back some depth. Your pike push-ups, this is where you're going to introduce your shoulder exercises and you're going to get your vertical pressing type movements. Squats, you don't want to neglect your legs. We got to get some quads in there. We do calf raises. You don't want to end up like Jesse James West and have no calves, so we got to get those in as well. Leg curls, where you're going to be working on your hamstrings. some leg extensions to give a little extra effort to your quads, and leg raises. This is where we're going to introduce some specific core work. Now you should be doing, your core is going to be tight on all these other exercises, so you're going to end up having your core, exercise throughout this routine, but we are going to spend a little bit extra time towards the end of the workout doing some leg raises to focus specifically on the core. Most of these exercises are what's called closed chain exercises, meaning that you are moving your body through space instead of moving your weight through space. There's a couple reasons for this. One, it's much harder to injure yourself doing closed chain exercises than it is to do open chain exercises to start with. The second reason is closed chain exercises force you to focus on your core. So you're going to end up tightening your core up in order to have proper form on all these exercises, which will help you when you switch to open chain exercises. You'll be able to do them with better form. After you finish this routine and you've done your static stretching, I like to do my cardio immediately after that. And it doesn't matter what type of cardio you do. You notice I did not include a specific cardio routine in here. What you should be doing is between 15 and 30 minutes of cardio following the routine or on your cardio day. And that's all you need. So it doesn't matter whether you're jumping rope, it doesn't matter whether you're riding a stationary bike, it doesn't matter if you're swimming or running, whatever it is you like doing, do that. It doesn't matter whether it's low intensity steady state, medium intensity steady state, or HIIT. Just make sure that you are doing some form of cardio. That will help you improve your endurance, which will also help making your lifts easier. The more energy you have overall and the more your body's able to move efficiently, the easier it will be to actually do your workouts and lower your rest times in between sets because your body will recover faster. If you aren't able to do 10 to 20 normal push-ups, you will want to make it a little easier on yourself so that you can get the same movement pattern but decrease your resistance. So you're going to do either a knee push-up or an incline push-up just to decrease the body weight that you're using. If a normal push-up is too easy for you, you're pumping out 20 reps and you're not really feeling it, then you'll want to make it harder. And you can do this by moving on to an elevated push-up, or if that's still too easy, you can move on to a weighted push-up or a planche push-up or even a bench press. And that gets you out of the closed chain into the open chain exercise at that point.
Alright, I'm not supposed to do bench press right now, so I'm gonna do it really, really light just to demonstrate it, but don't tell my wife or my doctor.
If you aren't able to do 10 to 20 normal chin-ups, you'll want to make it a little easier. This is likely where most people are going to want to regress. They'll want to either go down to assisted chin-ups or all the way down to using a lat pull down with a supinated grip. And then you'll eventually work up to a chin-up. If you're able to do a chin-up, 20 chin-ups easily, you'll want to start adding in weights and do a weighted chin-up, or potentially even start working towards a one-handed chin-up. If you're able to do all that and it's still easy for you to do 20 pull-ups, first off, why are you even looking at your routine here? Because at this point you're incredibly advanced. But at that point you could also switch back to lat pull downs and just up the weight significantly. For your dips, again, we're focusing on the tricep dip here, not the chest dip. So we're gonna be trying to keep our body as close to 90 degrees as possible so that we're coming down. We want the angle of our arm to be about 90 degrees when we get to the bottom of it and push up. So for that, if you're not able to do 10 to 20 normal dips, you'll either want to go down to an assisted dip where you use a resistance band to decrease the weight, or you could use a dip pull-up machine at the gym, or go all the way down to a chair dip and do the same thing. If you're able to do 20 dips with no problem, that's when you want to switch to a weighted dip, throw on a weight vest or a weight belt, and increase your weight as necessary to give you the proper resistance. For rows, if you're unable to do a horizontal row with your body weight, you can regress it to an Australian row where you're decreasing the angle so you're not pulling up as much of your body weight. If a normal horizontal row is too easy for you, you can do an elevated row where you're actually lifting your feet off the ground so you're pulling up your full body weight. If the elevated row still is too easy for you, you can switch over and do a low row or an isolateral row to work the same muscles and just add weight until you get the appropriate resistance to give you a good workout. The pike push-up, we're starting to get into some vertical pressing action. If you are unable to do a good form pike push-up, do what I call a low pike, where you move your legs a little farther away from your hands. This is going to reduce the amount of resistance you're using from your body weight. If you can do a good amount of pike push-ups with good forms, you can start elevating your legs so that you're adding more and more weight to your pike push-up. Once you're elevating your legs significantly, you'll end up effectively doing a handstand push-up. If you don't want to train handstands, then you can switch to an overhead press, and that will allow you to exercise the same muscles, and you'll be switching to an open chain exercise at that point. So squats is the one exercise that we're going to start where we're actually starting at the bottom of the regression, and you start with a body weight squat. Once you're able to do 3 sets of 20 body weight squats, no problem. You'll either want to add weight or move on to other forms of a squat. One way to do it is to do it a one leg step up. You can also do a weighted squat by putting on a weight vest, and you're adding additional body weight to the squat that you're doing. If you want to make it more difficult still, you can switch to a Bulgarian split squat to work the same basic muscle groups. If all of that is too easy, then you can start working on pistol squats, shrimp squats, or jump into the open chain activity and use hack squats, back squats, and leg press. Now the leg curls and leg extensions, I'm not going to give any progressions or regressions on, because these are just machines. So these are the 2 exercises that you'll be using machines for the entire time. It's just a matter of increasing the weight appropriately. When we get to leg raises, we're going to start with the supine leg raise. This is going to be laying down, and you can, I prefer to have my hands underneath my butt to hold it up slightly. If you want to make it a little more difficult, you can have your arms angled out from your body a little bit just to stabilize you, but not underneath your butt.
First workout since I broke my neck complete. Had to cut a couple sets off on a couple exercises, just because it's amazing how fast your muscles atrophy when you can't use them for almost 5 months. I didn't do any cardio tonight because, again, I'm exhausted, but the intent would be to do some cardio at the end of this. Hope you all had a great night. Hope you all enjoyed the workout. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Keep improving.